Good afternoon and welcome to our fourth session of Ask Me Anything or AMA. My name is Kangshi. I'm the moderator of this session. Also a member of the Pet Chef team, and this is a partnership with Thinkly. Today we have Sharvil Shringarpure, the founder of Pawdventure. Hi, thank you for being with us today.
Hey Kangshi, hi. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me
So
here.
I'm so happy we got together to talk about this. Now, tell us about Pawdventure. Tell us about your story. How did you start?
Well, so it all started about 3 years ago when I adopted my dog. So I have always been into wildlife tours. As you can see, some of the pictures behind me, I have always loved wildlife photography. And we initially started with wildlife tours and camping for in general for people. And that's been going on since last 8 years now. It's a company which organizes wildlife tours, and as a part of it, we also used to organize camping for people. So people used to come with us and we used to like have different games, activities, adventure activities for them. And it was that one day when we had taken people for fireflies show, like when there are all fireflies around its season. And that time I realized that there were so many people along with us, and instead of actually respecting, taking care, conserving nature, but they were there to destroy it. And that's when I realized, this is something I need to stop doing. I'm taking people to forests where they are the reason destroying things there. So I stopped with camping back then. And that this is somewhere around 2018, 2019, I adopted my dog, Kuro. And after adopting Kuro, there was soon a lockdown. I'm sure all pet parents, everyone knows that how lockdown went for us. So after that apparent first unlock phase, where if we were supposed to go out, we were allowed to go out. I went out with Kuro on a camping trip with few of my friends, and there I realized that he had a life there. He ran around on open spaces. He swam for the first time, and he was a young puppy, but he absolutely enjoyed everything. And that's when I realized that Kuro had already started getting reactive as he did not meet other dogs. And even I was not aware much about socialization. My previous dogs, I never really had to think about all these issues because they were maybe easily socialized with other dogs, but as he never met other dogs. So then after that day, he was very quiet. I'm very sorry for that. That's
Don't worry about it.
very quiet. He was good around all the dogs. That's when I realized that this is how it should be when it comes to dogs. That's the life they deserve. So I thought, why would I just keep it to myself, and why not extend it to my community of pet parents who require it? So that's how I got the idea of Pawdventure. I already had previous experience with traveling and camping. So we got a canine behaviorist on board, and that's how we went ahead with Pawdventure. That's how we started with Pawdventure.
Okay, and so how long have you been doing this for?
It's been 3 years now. We are more than, I think, soon touching 100 Pawdventures,
Oh,
and
wow.
with a lot of different activities, with now a huge community of pet parents in Mumbai, Pune, soon starting in Bangalore as well. And it's a great experience. I mean, I did not see this happening back then when I started. When I started it, it was initially for a little bit of a selfish motive that my Kuro would get to travel with other dogs. But now it has so happened that we are on a mission to make India pet friendly. Initially, it was to reconnect with your dog, but now that has gone to a broader perspective to make India pet friendly.
Okay, so I'm assuming that is also the philosophy behind Pawdventure.
Yes, that's our philosophy behind Pawdventure, wherein we believe that now with increasing number of people adopting dogs, which is a wonderful thing, adopting dogs out of street, adopting dogs in general. So we see so many pet parents now, and with all of this, we believe that there should be responsible and well informed pet parents. It's when we think of a dog, it's always that we go all like adoring the dogs and taking care of the dogs. But somewhere beyond that, it's our responsibility as pet parents when it comes to society and our dogs. So we believe that when people will see us traveling with our dogs all over India, when they'll see that a group of dogs, like a 15, 20 dogs together, they are traveling to a place in train over a bus, but yet there is no nuisance. They are all good. They are well behaved. That time, the non-pet parent community or anyone else who sees them, we believe that they'll know this. There'll be an awareness that dogs can be well behaved, and it's wonderful to be around them. We don't want to push our dogs to all non-pet friendly places and be like make it pet friendly, but we believe that when people will see this, they'll have more empathy, they'll have more love for our dogs, and especially for dogs on street. So by that way we can have more awareness. We believe that if we have a huge community of pet parents, if there are so many people now, I must say, in all over India who are listening to us, who are watching our stories, who are watching our videos, then it becomes our responsibility to spread that awareness about responsible pet parenting, and sympathy and empathy for our streeties will follow with it.
That's exactly. So that's what I was telling Aditya yesterday in our session. The today's pet parent is so knowledgeable, so nuanced, and they have their
True.
own pet love language. And now they're actually looking for experiences with their pets rather than just taking them down for a walk and maybe to the dog park wherever it's. At least in Bombay, I know there are very few dog parks. So at least there's some thinking behind taking your dog and trying. But now with your company, I think this it's adventurous. It takes you on a journey. You'll find out more about your pet. It's a great bonding experience as well. Anyway,
That's true.
coming back now, okay. Explain the entire process. Well, how can one reach you, and what do we need to give you?
So now in this case, right now we are soon coming up with our website, but as of now we are all on Instagram. We are reaching to people. We are connecting with people on our WhatsApp. So when a pet parent connects with us, they have definitely many questions that how would it go, what exactly happens. So what we need from a person is the dog should be completely vaccinated. We make sure that dogs
Mhm.
are vaccinated. We collect their vaccination certificates, and we ask some basic questions about their nature, how they are, and so we never say no to any dog. Many a times, pet parents ask us that my dog is reactive. He'll maybe snap at other dogs. We always tell them that's okay. Leave that to Aditya and our team. Sorry, we'll take care of that part. So, sorry. Usually we have four different things going on right now. One of that is Pawdventure dog camps, overnight camps, which are very famous within our community. Second is a sailing trip wherein we go for sailing with our dogs and Gateway of India. We have our partners at Dubai Marines, and they allow dogs. They are very helpful. Their staff is very great when it comes to dogs. So we onboard dogs on board, and it's a wonderful experience for dogs. So when you spoke about experience a while ago, that's when we realized that dogs, for them to have a life as we have different experiences, they should have it, because our kids, they go to school, they make their careers, right? But our pet kids who are there with us, it is not only the love and affection that we will bombard on them, and then we expect to have a well behaved dog, but there is a life to it. They are a social animal. So socialization being the first part, mental stimulus, physical stimulus following the socialization part. So to keep balance of all these three aspects, socialization, mental stimulus, physical stimulus, we believe that when these three things are balanced within a dog's life, that can be very well done with traveling with your dogs. So that time your dog will have good experiences. A well behaved dog, their psychology can be very well managed by this. So as I said, coming back to what we do, we have these sailing activities where you meet us early in the morning on a weekend. You go on a boat, you go on a good 2 hours or 1.5 hours ride, a sailing ride, and dogs generally doze off during that ride because it's very calming for them. And then we go for a brunch with dogs, and Pawdventure dog camps, that's where I believe that that's where we are making change. So here we have starts in the afternoon. There are about 15 families per Pawdventure camp, not more than that. And wherein you first, when you enter the campsite, that time we ask pet parents to keep the dogs on leash, and Aditya gives them instructions about how to socialize their dogs with other dogs, because they are coming from different backgrounds, different levels of socialization. They may be anxious, they may be very excited, they may be annoyed because of the journey. So we try to have a common neutral space for all these dogs. So to achieve that, there are some set of instructions which we help the pet parents with. So which gets dogs psychology to a neutral ground where dogs are more of accepting of the new things which are around them. So that's first few hours. So mainly this is the theory behind it, but on surface pet parents are relaxing, they are following the instructions, they maybe take a nap. Then by around 3:34 we start with our games and activities. So this is when we actually start the socialization process. So initial buffer time is also very crucial, so dogs will know that they are in a new place, they will be meeting other dogs. And this is where the first few games are about the icebreaker games. For pet parents it's just fun, we divide them in groups. But what happens with dogs at that time is, when dogs, so if suppose Kanshi, if we go out in a group of 30 people, it may not happen that at that instance we'll be friends with all. So maybe we'll make a small group of 5 or 6 people, and then we'll gel up with them. So we try to have the same logic for dogs as well. So that's why we divide pet parents in groups. So even dogs are divided. So dogs are divided in smaller packs. While the pet parents are at these games, initial games, dogs are not involved into it actively. So during these times, dogs are just meant to follow. So dogs, within dog psychology, they know that they are just following pet parents. There's a very tiny group of 5, 6 dogs with whom they'll be around. So that forms that starts the pack mentality within dogs. Then we move on to the game, which where the dogs are now actively involved. So during the further games and sessions, at this time, what happens is our dogs are now accepting of other dogs, other people around them. They know that there will be instances where they will come in very close contact with other dogs. So here is when our expertise, our team comes into picture. They help pet parents understand the triggers of their dogs, psychology of their dogs. While all of this is going on surface, again, there are games, activities, fun things which are going on. But in background, our team is always working on character of each and every dog. And finally, we end all of these games with some physically stimulating games where we make pet parents' dogs run a bit. So, with all of this, what happens is dogs are now mentally very much engaged. They are physically engaged into activity. So, that distracts them for any of those reactivity they have. So, this is the time where we can suggest help pet parents understand how they can modify their dog's behavior, because it will not be possible for us to train the dogs over there over like a overnight's time, but we can definitely help you understand those safe spaces which you can work on. So by then around 7:38 we all relax, there's usually a lake, there's usually live music around us, then it's a fun night, Saturday party night for us. Next day early in the morning, we go for a hike by around 6:30. So that's this is the time when pet parents have this thing. Usually at 10 o'clock we tell them, so guys, tomorrow 6 o'clock you have to wake up, and that's that's when they're like, after a one hell of a fun day, we are making us wake up early in the morning, but that's required. So the dogs are all fresh. There's no sun up there at that time. So we go for a hike. So hike is this time when the previous day's socialization it comes into picture, because that time we believe socialization is not just meeting dogs on leash, or just going on a walk and meeting dogs in a dog park, but as dogs are social animals, and to go back to their natural instincts, the pack mentality should come into picture. So here is when the entire pack, all 15 dogs, they all go together, and that time we divide the people dogs as per their temperaments, depending upon which dogs would get along with each other. Our team we are very proud of them. They are very professionals when it comes to trekking safety. We all are equipped with a lot of safety gears, first aids, and so on. And then we go for this hike, which is hardly a 30 minutes hike. But during this hikes, we start off leashing the dogs. Now the dogs, they go off leash. Usually, pet parents have this one concern, यार ये भाग ना जाए. But the reason they do not run away is because these dogs have sense of belonging to the pack. So they'll always be around the pack. So there is always a dog who would always want to run ahead. There are few dogs who would want to be around the pack. So we make sure that dogs, their psychology, it is very well served so that they are comfortable. So then by the end of this trek, all dogs are off leash. They are very well walking around. So no, that's when we always tell pet parents, you see a different side of your dogs. They say that यार घर पे सुनता नहीं है, यहाँ पे मेरे साथ ही चल रहा है. That is because they have got the correct amount of socialization, mental, physical stimulus, and these dogs now will be very much looking for the leadership direction to their pet parents. That's when we see, and that's when many pet parents see the change happening. We are very touched many a times at how dogs are around their pet parents. So after all of this, we go for swimming, again a physically stimulating activity. So dogs are more accepting of their surroundings, of the dogs around them. And finally, we conclude Pawdventure with some awards for the dogs, just characters, cartoon names, things they have done, things they have not done, and that's more of Pawdventure dog camps for you.
So these are so there's a little bit of a sailing program. What other programs are there? And these are only one night, or there are longer trips.
So Pawdventure dog camps usually there for one night, but whenever we see a long weekend, we see that opportunity, and we have Pawdventures for 2 nights as well, where we take pet parents on a road trip like that. You will see like all 20 cars, all dogs, their heads out of the windows, and all of them going together at once, and that really gets gets attention of all the locals and people around us. And I'm very surprised and very happy about the fact that. We have done this as of now in Maharashtra, Himachal, and
Yeah.
everywhere people have always been very happy. They have always been very supportive of dogs going around them. So that's for 2 nights. We also have come up with a plan called, we call it Trip India, wherein we take dogs to Himachal. Soon we are having a plans to go to Goa in February, Karnataka, wherein a group of dogs, 10 to 15 dogs, travel with us in train, on buses, in public spaces. So, for Trip India plans, we see to it that dogs have at least attended one Pawdventure. So we know how, because they'll have to travel in trains in first AC, where we take care of their first AC bookings and everything. But we also take care of socialization part for these dogs before we go for the trip, because it is important that all these dogs who are traveling, they should get along with each other, or over on train or on a bus. So we conduct their socialization sessions before the journey, so these dogs get to know each other. We get to know about their behavior, and so these trips, recently we had gone in June. That was our first Trip India plan to Shimla. That was wonderful.
Wow.
And another one is now coming up in 3 weeks. We are super excited for that. That's again at Shimla. We are expecting some snow over there. So
Oh, lovely.
dogs are going to love it. It is just, how we travel. It is similarly for them, but it's with more of adventure for them.
Also, you said you had a program for stray dogs. Or how are
Yes.
you or you helping them as well?
So, Kangshi, now with all of this, what's happening is we see a lot of pet parents who want to help their dogs as well as the streeties on the, because we see that, now we believe that maybe if we cannot be on the field 24/7 helping stray dogs all the time, but on our part, what we can do is spread awareness, be of help whenever required. So, by our Pawdventures, we try to spread awareness about taking care of stray dogs. We also are anonymously involved in a lot of activities which are helping stray dogs. But our main focus and aim here is for people to understand that these are more of community dogs, even if you are not able to bring them home right now. but you can take care of these dogs while they are on streets. They have a role to play even on streets. They have their social life there on the streets. So it's not just about going and fondling a dog or feeding these dogs for several times a day. That's very important, but going beyond that, we believe that spreading awareness about keeping these dogs safe, treating these dogs as our community dogs, and many a times these dogs also teach our pet dogs a better lessons of socialization. So that's how we are involved when it comes to stray dogs. We are doing our part of the thing when it comes to all these treaties.
Yeah, and it goes to show how love and kindness goes a long way.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, we have a couple of live questions. Sania wants to know, hi Sharvil, your journey from being a biotech professor to founding Pawdventure is fascinating. Was there any specific moment or experience that nudged you towards this shift in your career?
Definitely. So, yes, I started as a biotechnology professor. My wildlife tourism company had always initially it was a sidekick for me, but now going ahead, I think Kuro was that one change into my journey wherein I could make that shift. And also, I'd like to mention here that. Uh, the reason I could meet my wife, that was also now my wife, that was also because of the dogs. So there was this one dog on streets of Prabhadevi called Sheru. Dog was suffering from distemper. So she was trying to help the dog, and she got in touch with me saying that, I do something about dogs. Someone told her that he does something about dogs. Go talk to him. He'll be able to help you. And we she got in touch with me. We helped poor Sheru, but unfortunately, because of this, Sheru couldn't be with us for a very long time. But we did everything we could for Sheru, and that's how I met Shruti. And uh, I think she's one of the major pillars when it comes to Pawdventure. So she was the one after our marriage that to encourage me, to give me the confidence that I could give up my job as a professor, which I still love. But this is a very broader picture for me, and so because of her help support, I could actually start my journey as entrepreneur when it came to Pawdventure. So definitely, Sheru, Shruti, and Kuro, these have been those turning points where I could start with Pawdventure.
Then Vinita is asking, what simple initiatives could we introduce to make sure all local parks have dog-friendly zones for some off-leash playtime?
Great question, yeah. Because yes, Sunita, that's correct. That many a times where parents have this concern that when we go out, that time we cannot off-leash our dogs. Many pet-friendly places, they are claiming to be pet-friendly, but they do not allow dogs to be off-leash. But same thing. One thing we believe that there should be the right amount of awareness about these things, so the places will know, the pet-friendly places in general will know that dogs can be managed. And second thing, a very important thing where a pet parents comes into picture, it is pet parents absolute responsibility first to give the right amount of socialization for the dogs. Second, to follow certain exercises when it comes to a community, when it comes to a pet park or a resort, wherein wherever you want to off leash your dogs, if you can work on certain basic training or recalls or behavioral modifications for your dog, then you are confident that even if there is anything happening around your dog will not be distracted. Your dog will always come back to you. That's where the responsible pet parenting comes in picture. And with certain exercises, I think there will be a different session on it. But with certain exercises, Aditya can again help us with that. Our dogs can be left off leash in places which are dog parks, resorts, or hotels, restaurants.
Then Mariam is asking, building a community centered around empathy for street dogs is such a noble mission. Good job to you and your team. Also, how do you plan to make Pawdventure a catalyst for change? And are there any specific initiatives that stand out in contributing to this cause?
So thank you, William, for congratulating us on that. It's a very small thing that we have started, we believe, and we believe that as we go ahead with Pawdventure, wherein we go all around India, soon to be going in Bangalore. A lot of Bangalore pet parents have been asking. We have been promising them from an year that we'll be there, but. When we will travel all around India, when we will have these awareness programs where people from different parts of India, from metropolitan cities to tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities, there are so many pet parents all around India. When all of them see us going with our dogs, when all of them are a part of this activity, not just always for adventure, but only having sympathy for our dogs, dogs on street, I think that's when we will be able to bring the change. And as you said, that nowadays pet parents that we see are smart, they're aware, they're fabulous when it comes to responsible pet parenting. So I'm sure we'll be able to bring that change very soon.
And one more question. Varun is asking, imagine a world where everyone understands the importance of being a responsible pet owner. How do you think public awareness campaigns could play a role in making India more pet friendly?
That sounds like a dream for sure. That all pet parents will be responsible, and I really believe with especially seeing the pet parents we have been connecting in past 3 years. That's really possible. It's more of a goal, we believe, that than a dream. It will be possible, and yes, the public awareness when it comes to taking your dogs, walking with your dog. So it starts from simple walk with your dogs in places. It starts from, I believe, simply just picking the poop on off road,
Yes.
uh, carrying a poop bag or a newspaper, or going ahead. Second part, wherein let's say, why would anyone have a problem with dogs? Like, if anyone doesn't like dogs at all, but why would that person have a problem dogs being around them? I believe that's because they have a very prejudice in their mind, saying dogs are nuisance, they'll bark, they'll bite someone. But when pet parents themselves, they pick up on this responsibility to socialize their dogs, to have a well-behaved dog, wherein even if there are people maybe who do not like dogs, but they'll see that dogs are not bothering them at all. Even if they are, they can very well coexist with our dogs. So such public campaigns, such public awareness about cleanliness, hygiene of your dog, and again coming to the same point, the right amount of socialization, that's something that will, I think, help our communities to be more pet friendly, places to be more pet friendly.
All right. And if in societies there are like real nice rules that pet parents can follow, then maybe all of us can live in harmony with
That's
other
true.
pet parents. Okay, coming back to Pawdventure, I want to know how has it helped pet parents?
So as I said, last 3 years we have been connecting with so many pet parents, and now there are few pet parents who have been with us like a strong support since we started. And so when a pet parent comes to Podventure, maybe they'll come up with. So there have been few pet parents who had reactive dogs. Very proudly, I would like to mention few dogs here. There's a dog named Leo. Jennifer is his mom, and Jennifer had been coming to Pawdventure since last 1.5 years. And Leo was initially reactive, but coming to Pawdventure, Leo started changing because Leo had the right amount of activities for him, guided socialization for him. It's not just, again, making your dog meet other dogs on leash where they are pulling, where they are stressed. Guided socialization is very important, plays a very crucial part here. So just like Leo and Jennifer, there are so many dogs where pet parents, where they had a change of perception when it came to their dogs. So as I said, many a times, simply when a dog does something which you don't want them to, many a times pet parent would go like, "Ki, please don't do this. This is not correct." But the simple line of understanding that dogs are communication with dogs. it's on voice modulations. It's not always that they understand all the words that we say. Some pet parents may not like us saying this, that we always say that we must understand at a point that it's an animal, and to have a right amount of communication with a different species. It's a different, whole different species, right? So that time, the correct amount of uh, training that comes into picture. So many pet parents had this change of perception when it came to their dogs. Many a times there were few myths when it came to socialization, to certain behaviors which would go out at their place. Maybe few dogs did not like kids. Maybe few dogs did not like a particular set of dogs or a breed, but that changed for these pet parents, and they saw that they could push the limits of their dogs, and there was a whole world out there to explore. So I'm very proud that how many pet parents have had changes in their perception and how they are going about with their dogs. Now I see our community of pet parents, not just Pawdventure, they are taking trips on by themselves. We love to help them on these trips. They always text us that, we are traveling in train, help us with this. We are going on a journey, what food we should carry, how do we go about it. So we are very happy that how pet parents have taken up the change and how they are now traveling with their dogs.
I feel this is something we really need as more and more people are adopting dogs, or actually, as in they're more aware of what is around. They want more experiences. I feel I have a golden retriever. His name is Lewis. I've been telling him at all my sessions now. He's not a city dog for sure. He's not. He doesn't like loud noises. He's not happy with cars or a motorcycle. Anything. He likes his house in a peaceful area. But when we took him to Lonavala, we found a pet friendly place, and he was a completely different dog. We took him and he had the lawn. He was running around. He was chasing birds. He wouldn't attack them. He just loved the chase. He found a lizard. He was playing with it. It was just the only thing he didn't do was jump in the pool. I think he was a little wary, but I think that's just a confidence issue. But he was a completely different dog. It was like a full 180. So I feel companies like yours, like Pawdventure, would change the way my dog would function. I think he needs something
That's
like that.
true.
So maybe after this, I'll call you and we'll figure something
Yeah,
out.
please do, please do. Join us for one of our adventures. What's your dog's name?
Lewis,
Louis. Okay,
he's
great.
a golden retriever. He's very good with socializing. He loves dogs and cats. He
Perfect.
loves making friends with everybody. He likes small children. He's a really good dog. It's just that he's a little scared. But
Certified
yeah,
good
over
dog.
time, yeah, but over time, I'm sure things will change.
Correct.
Now this is my question when it comes to coming on one of your camping trips. How do you take care of the pet's needs and maybe the pet owners as well when it comes to medicine, food? If there's an emergency, how do you do all of that?
So, as I said, I had a lot of experience initially when it came to camping. So, about their safety, we make sure that we have tie-ups with local hospitals, veterinary hospitals, which are around
Oh,
them.
that's
So,
good.
veterinary doctors are a call away. The local doctors, especially, who are there in the area, we have already spoken to them. Even if something goes, luckily it is not, but even if something goes wrong at 11 o'clock at night, we are sure that they'll be there or will be able to take these dogs to the nearest veterinary hospital. Now, all the campsites that we select, we make sure that all these medical help is on maximum half an hour away from us, not more than that. So, if anything so is to happen, then we have the professional medical help around us. Apart from that, our team, Pawdventure team, is very well versed with basic first aid when it comes to dogs as well as humans. But definitely, where it is required for a medical profession to be present, we make sure that these doctors or medical professionals are there at the site. And apart from that, as I mentioned, that we make sure all dogs are vaccinated. That's first thing that we require. We guide pet parents, we instruct pet parents strictly about following few things, because let's face it, that when there are 15, 20 dogs, there may be a chance where these dogs may get reactive against each other. So it is important that we manage their psychology. We guide pet parents about how to not let your dogs to that point, and even if it so happens, then what to do in such situations. So medical staff is always around us, a call away. Yes.
And there's always food and fresh water available.
Food for humans, definitely there's a resort who's taking care of food they serve. Usually so what we do is we usually go to the campsite, like me, Shruti and Kuro, we go to a campsite, we stay
You
there.
do a recce. Hmm.
Yeah, we do recce. So Kuro is the one who approves all these campsites. And food for dogs is always been Pet Chef, because the best part that we love about their food is it doesn't require refrigeration. So the fresh meal packets, we can just hand it over to people, pet parents, and it's so lovely of Pet Chef that whenever a dog has a chicken allergy or a mutton allergy, then we communicate with them, and they make sure that the food for the dog is the what they require, what dogs require. So it may happen sometimes that their regular food timings may shuffle a bit due to a lot of activities. So we don't want to take the risk of overfeeding the dogs or even underfeeding the dogs. So that's when the Pet Chef community, Pet Chef experts come into picture. They are just a call away when we ask them that, this is the size of the dog and how much should we feed them. The dog have had so many activities. Sometimes pet parents feel that he's eating a lot. Sometimes they feel that they are eating less. But of course, we have experts on board. So we are not concerned at all, as Pet Chef is taking care of all our dog food requirements. And the resorts, campsites that we go for, they definitely serve delicious food for humans. So that's a win-win for all.
That's really helpful. And then what should pet parents take away from their experiences?
I feel that when it comes to pet parents, so usually at the end of the Pawdventure, we many a times have a feedback session where when they tell us about their experience of Pawdventure. So personally, if you ask me, then pet parents should take away one thing from Pawdventure, that your dog is a lot more capable than you still think he or she is. When you explore these capabilities by the right amount of mental physical stimulus for your dog, and pet parents should take away one thing, that their dogs can be well behaved, and to achieve that, their dogs, it's not only their relationship with the dog for playing fetch in a park for a half an hour, or just going out with dog for a walk, which is very important, but more than that, where your bond will be strengthened with your dog when you understand their needs, their natural instincts. So I feel pet parents should take away the third thing, that's apart from pushing your dog's capabilities, understanding dogs can be well behaved. Third very important thing is knowing that what are the natural instincts, what are the actual requirements as a species, as a dog as a species, and how you can easily work on these things.
This is all, by the way, this is all super reassuring as a pet parent, right? You've taken care of the medical needs, the food, and this it's a very, very wholesome experience. It's like taking a toddler to a trip or
Yeah,
to Disneyland.
true.
It's really, really reassuring. We have a lot more questions coming in.
Hit me up.
Uh, Jenny says businesses have a big impact on society. How can they contribute to making India more pet friendly? Any cool ideas to ensure our pets feel welcome in public spaces?
I feel that for the same thing that there is this thing that I always do with in my building, that wherever there are kids, I make sure that Kuro is very friendly with these kids. Kuro loves playing with these kids. So, when these kids, I believe that it will start with our kids around us, wherein kids in our society, kids in your building, everywhere, wherein when there is awareness, I feel that there should be more initiatives when it involves dogs and kids. Maybe kids who do not have dogs at their places. When I see people in my building, so in my building, it's a tiny nine-floor building wherein I'm the only one with the dog. And initially, when I got the dog, I was not very sure that how would everyone react and what would be their reaction. Kuro would bark at strangers that time. How would that be? So, all these kids, these were the first ones to go run to their parents and tell them that Kuro is so cute. We love having him around. And, so that's when I realized that if there are any initiatives, we as a business, we believe that apart from pet parents who are there out there, that if we can have our impact in schools, in different places where there are kids, when kids know that how to be responsible around dogs, that time we will have a new generation coming up with already coming up with right amount and responsible pet parenting. So if there are any initiatives that we can run with kids, I think that will be very cool. That will be very helpful.
I think my daughter, she's 3, she can volunteer for that because she knows very well you're not supposed to touch the dog's tail.
Uh,
Always give the hand to smell first, to
okay.
initiate first contact. So she's very well versed, and she's only 3, and she's already figured it out. So
Hey,
it's
that's amazing.
amazing.
Correct.
Then I like this question from Gayatri. Schools, colleges, and communities can be powerful influencers. How do you think they could team up to spread the message of compassion and understanding towards pets in our society?
So, thank you so much, Gayatri, for asking this question because this will bring us to even broader perspective about it. Now, I would like to, focus on a broader perspective where we are not only talking about dogs but nature in general. As I mentioned, apart from Pawdventure, we run Travel It, which is about nature conservation and wildlife. So, when it comes to schools and colleges, not only dogs, but I feel when school and college kids will be involved in simple activities such as hiking, uh, uh, camping, swimming as in not just pool, but going out there on a hiking trip and definitely safely going in a lake or so. That time these kids will have a understanding about nature, conserving wildlife and nature. And I feel our pets, dogs, can be made a one part of it. They can be made one part of this entire broader perspective. So when schools and colleges they are involved, I would like to have schools and colleges being involved in adventure activities wherein they understand about nature and dogs.
So that's what the school that we have put our daughter in. So recently they had a trip to Japalupi, and I
Wow.
know there are more farms coming up like that. More. Actually, you know what? Why don't you just show him up on camera and we can all say hi to him.
I'll try. I'm sitting on a table. Kuro, Kuro, Jikri,
He speaks
Kuro.
Marathi.
Yeah, he knows Marathi, English, and Kuro, come. Come. Ah, so this is my
Oh,
boy.
he is gorgeous.
That is Kuro.
How old is he?
Kuro is 4 years old now.
Oh, he's lovely.
Thank
So
you,
anyway,
Kamshi.
like I was saying, now there are more like Japalupi, more farms coming up with farm animals, like like a petting zoo. So I
Uh-huh.
think that's how I think if schools created more programs of taking the kids, making them understand about nature and how they should touch a particular animal, how just everything. I think kids learn very quick. I think today's kids learn very quickly. So I think
Yeah,
that's how one thing. And the other thing
that's
we sort of proposed is a group of us have dogs at home. So we wanted to bring all of them to school at a very specific time and have kids come and get over their fear
dogs.
of dogs, especially ours have converted a lot of kids from being scared to not being scared. So I think, yeah,
Uh,
that's how I think that's a small way of starting it.
that's the start. Yeah, that's how we'll do things.
One more question from Arman. He says, "Hi Sharvil and Kankshi. I want to know with the rising interest in ecotourism and pet-friendly travel, what exciting trends do you foresee for businesses like Pawdventure in the future?"
So, hey, hi, thank you. When it comes to ecotourism, travel at where we do wildlife trips, that's a sustainable tourism company. We are also trying to bring in the same thought with Pawdventure. Now, as we just talked about kids and them understanding conservation about nature, I think this is the same topic which will follow, wherein as we more and more pet parents will travel with their dogs, then ecotourism is where pet parents or travelers in general are conserving nature. At the same time, the local communities are also benefited. We believe that with dogs, with Pawdventure, honestly, it may take some more time for us to be completely eco-friendly, I would say, because there is still one-time use plastic which is in picture with us. So we are finding more and more options, sustainable options for a lot of different things that we are using. But where a company like Pawdventure, which is involved with adventure, dogs, and travel, when companies like us who will understand back of our mind somewhere that we have to find out sustainable options for us to travel, sustainable options for us to function, then definitely we will be able to push ecotourism, reduce our carbon footprint somewhere
Mhm.
somewhere out there, because it starts from simply using the plastic poop bags that we do. There are now poop bags which are biodegradable, but
Correct.
again there are still many naturalists who would claim that even that is not correct, using finally it's plastic. So finding sustainable ways for our daily needs is, I think, is where we will come into picture. We are still trying to find out, implement, experiment new things at Pawdventure which are convenient at the same time conserving the nature.
So far in your experience, have you encountered any problems, and how was it dealt with?
Problems, definitely many of them. Initially, it started with asking a lot of places to be pet friendly. So now, many of the
Yes.
places where we today conduct Pawdventures were not pet friendly. They had questions about cleaning, about dogs being messy, but we had to convince them, we had to show them that dogs can be, again, well behaved, they can be very well, things can be very well managed. So our initial few challenges, which still is about making places pet friendly, because there are so many good places that they are still not pet friendly. So apart from that, having a team who is so passionate about our journey, about our cause, bringing them all up together, because Pawdventure, it's a very unique business which started. So the kind of skill set which require which requires here working with us is very different. But I'm very proud of our team which we have found out. Now we are expanding our team. So joining more people in our initiative, and making them understand that what we do and what is their responsibility, not just as their regular job, what they would do, but it attaches to a lot of other responsibilities. So, yes, finding, basically convincing people to be more pet friendly, that was our biggest challenge, and that still always be, starting from railways to public places to resorts, restaurant people. But we are getting there. I see a lot of change happening. So we are very proud of it.
In connection to this, Alicia is asking, as a dog lover, I want to know, are there any specific destinations or experiences that you believe every dog owner should consider for their furry companions? Any personal favorites and why?
Experiences, I would say that just take a long drive with your dog. Personally, if you really ask me, a few beaches in South Goa, wherein we love to take a family trip always. Whenever we get a chance, we plan a trip there. So, any places which would allow your dog to just run around, enjoy the time. Even in Maharashtra, there are so many places. There are so many treks. There is a trek called as Garbage Point. This is near Mathiran. So the base of this trek, you don't even have to like climb the entire trek, but the lake around it, it's so beautiful. You can go around that lake over there. There is Mahabeshwar Vai. There is a place called as Dome Dam, which is again my personal favorite. I would also like to mention this one incident where me, Kuro, and Shruti, we had gone to Dome Dam, and there's no one. Like you could go skinny dipping there, and
Oh,
there was no one there.
wow.
And
Did you?
uh, no, we did not. But we were there and we were swimming. I love swimming. So I was swimming in the lake, and there was a time when I introduced Kuro to swim with me, and then he was just wandering. I let him be himself, and there was this one point he went really far away from us. Like we could see him like a tiny dot. He was like 500 meters away or more than that. And at a point, I saw that there were a few ducks in the lake, and he swam towards them. So that's when I skipped my beat. I was like, he's so far away and he's swimming right towards those ducks. I don't know how far will he get into water. What if he gets tired in the water? How will he come back? But then, that was me being that anxious pet parent whenever we go out. But we called him back, and suddenly there were a few strays who came there. So the strays became like a distraction for Kuro. He came all the way running back to us, but we were very happy. But things such as this give us confidence that our dogs know how to take care of themselves. Definitely, we should be responsible. We should know that where they are, if they are safe, if other people, animals around them are safe. But I think Goa, Dome Dam, these are my favorite things in Maharashtra, Dome Dam, and out of Maharashtra, Goa. There is also Himachal. I would love to also recommend that. The place where we usually go, there are few villages near Shimla, and these are very much pet friendly. People are lovely over there. So, experiencing mountains with your dogs is also a great experience. So, do that. Do that.
That's what my husband wants to do. Take Lewis to the mountains. Now, your favorite Pawdventure story.
My favorite Pawdventure story. There are so many. I cannot like narrow down on one, but let me think about this. So I think my favorite Pawdventure story is when there was this time. This is where I would love to talk about our community of pet parents. So, Kangshi, there was this time when this Pawdventure was at Lonavala, and to be very honest, it's filled with a lot of challenges. So, we were out there going to Lonavala. We saw on the map that expressway was like full. There was a lot of traffic over there, and it showed us go by like the old Mumbai Pune
The whole highway.
old highway. So we took the old highway thinking कि ठीक है Google Map दिखा रहा है चलते हैं. And then it so happened that there was accident on the expressway. So the entire road was completely blocked. There was like bumper to bumper traffic. Our car was stuck on old highway, and old highway is like even steep than the regular expressway. So there were a lot of cars who were burning up. Clutch plate were tossing out of the function, and so did that happen for our car. We had to push our car through. We found a mechanic in Khandala where, while all of this is going on, we reached to the campsite by 6 o'clock in the evening, where we were
Oh
supposed to
wow.
reach there by 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh
So
no.
clutch plate and spending 4 hours at mechanic going through all of this traffic. But meanwhile, all the pet parents were already there, and I was very anxious, as a organizer. I should be there taking care of everything a day before or so, but that was not happening, and I was very much scared, anxious that how would everyone would react. Definitely, the situation was not in my hand, but still, being always being a panicky organizer, how I am, I think that helps to get everything in line. But that day, odds were not in our favor, and but to our surprise, we saw all the pet parents were already chilling there. They had gotten used to with the place. They had already socialized some of the dogs. Some of them were waiting for us, and the resort had taken care of people. And we continued after 6 p.m. As soon as we got there, we set up things 6:30. We were ready with everything, and that Pawdventure went so well, so fabulously well. We met few of the great pet parents at that time. Some of them are still in touch with us. Some of them are like, I'd love to mention these dogs, Bruto and Saber, Surjit and Preeti. They are now coming with us to Shimla as well. That was their first Pawdventure. So, no, despite all these challenges and things going in a wrong way from our side, yet there was huge support from our pet parents, and that went a lovely Pawdventure. So definitely a favorite one.
I
After
like,
all,
like I, pet parents are really enthusiastic. So I love that. Coming to the conclusion, because we really run out of time,
okay.
advice you'd like to give pet parents or people who want to have these experiences?
So I would say, don't wait up. Do not worry about how would your dog do, what would you do. We are there to take care of all of that. Just pick a date and go for it. Go out with your dog. If not always Podventure, travel with your dogs. And we are always having Podventures on almost all weekends of the month. Now we have it one on 9th. That's a one-day activity, which is a very wonderful introduction to spirit of Pawdventure, wherein pet parents can come for a day. We go on a hike, we go for swimming, then we are going to Shimla. So I would say just go for it. Do not wait for things. Your dog needs this, and that will change your life for sure. So this is the guarantee of one huge Pawdventure community. So go for it.
Yeah, especially for first timers who want to join. I think the day trip would really help them to understand
Yeah.
how everything how functions, and then at least some of the anxieties will go away of how your dog reacts to certain situations.
That's
So
true.
this is really helpful. Anyway, we come to the end of this session. This was really, really enlightening and really wonderful. Thank you, Sharvil, so much for being with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for
Then,
giving me this opportunity.
and later on, when we have the time, we'll talk about far more specific topics. When people where people have more,
Yes.
especially I have a lot more question about the train journey, the bus journey, or even the car journey. So I'm very curious as to
Definitely.
the entire process. But anyway, thank you so much. This was wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kangshi. I'll see you soon. I think I'll connect soon with you for your talk and getting him for one of the adventures. And again, thank you so much, pet parents who were a part of this conversation. Thank you so much, Thinkly Pet Chef, for bringing us here. And I'll see you soon.
And of course, thank you to Kuro for making an
Ah,
appearance.
yes.